so many occasions if being slim is always healthy?
That's a very, very good question. We are Whole Food Revolution. I'm Ronit. I'm a happiness coach.
And I'm Dr. Nelum. I'm a GP.
And we're going to talk about something that people ask us a lot. Are we in the business of helping people be slim? Is slim
the ultimate goal? Yes.
Yes. So what made you?
So this was a insight that really I received while I was in Japan a while back. And when you walk around Japan, and you've been there too, that the Japanese population are pretty slim, men and women, and when you look around, you think, wow, they're so much slimmer than the average Australian or whatever. But I had the experience of going to these communal baths, these onsens, and you can't, you don't look at other women, but you can't help it because you're in a communal bath with lots of other women who are not clothed. So one of the things that I noticed was that even though the women are very slim, they all had, well, not all, but the majority of them have a little bit of a thickening in the waist and a little bit of a belly. And it's not, it is what it is. And I realized that Japan is an Asian country, and what Asians tend to have is they tend to have a little bit of extra weight that they carry around the middle. This phenomena is called TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. TOFI, yes. And the problem is that fat on the inside creates this thickening of the waist, and it's
the fat that we don't want.
Yes,
this
is the visceral fat, which is highly inflammatory.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want that fat. This is the dangerous fat.
Yes.
And it's more dangerous than Nelum calls it, the jiggly ones that comes from the outside.
The subcutaneous fat. And one of the ways that you can assess whether you don't need to always get scans, you can check your waist to height ratio, and your waist ideally needs to be at least half of your height. And so listen, in Japan, it's much it's not as problematic as the other Asian countries, but it was something interesting that I noted. And also, the other thing I noted was that Japanese women in particular don't have a lot of muscle. So they're slim, and they don't have that muscle definition. And I think, even though I didn't see men in the same way, when you're walking, you see them, and that's the same. And then finally, what I realized was when you're walking around, now Japan is what's called an aged population. They have the longest living humans live in Japan, and generally their lifespan is a lot longer than other parts of the world. And so you see a lot of older people, and I saw a lot of women in particular who are hunched over, walking over a stick. Now that hunched over pattern, which is that like this, that's called kyphosis. And that happens when your bones, when you have an osteoporotic fracture to your bones, and then the spine starts to, so the spine holds you up, and when you have it's called a wedge fracture, when each of the vertebrae, when they collapse on each other, you then kind of move forward. So
it means the gravity wins.
Yeah, gravity wins. Yeah, but and also then when I realized why was this happening, if you look at the Japanese diet, they have a pretty good diet, but they're a little bit low on protein, I would say. So
that's because that's what we need for the muscles.
Yes,
and the bones.
That's right. And they're not a culture that does a lot of strength training. So they are very they move naturally. They do a lot of movement,
which is good, and that explains why they live much longer.
Yes, they have a lot of incidental activity. Everybody walks and climbs and does all of that, but they don't naturally do a lot of weight. So it was interesting. So this place that I was in, that when you look around, the people look really slim, and so they look healthy, but when you look under when you explore a little bit more and look underneath, there are problems that emerge.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Nelum and I are very, very particular about. We are in this, like, I mean, when we started the whole thing, you know, when Nelum started at the beginning, it was basically helping people be healthier using food and so on. And I think people ended up confusing this healthier with being slimmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because sadly, and I'm saying it sadly, a lot of the people that do explore this health regime or
yes.
health thing that we're doing are mainly focused about losing weight. And this is the wrong goal. Why? Because people can be healthy weighing more.
Yes.
And I always say the same thing. The criteria for the weight has changed over the years.
Absolutely.
And this change, I mean, our genetic didn't really change.
No.
And our, you know, the ancestors and how we were created and so on, that did not change. And I always give the same example because I was doing some work about this body image many years ago. I did workshops on those topics about teenagers and so on.
Yeah.
And we always gave the same example that Marilyn Monroe, she would be considered obese today.
Yeah.
Because her size,
her dress size
was 16.
Right. Yeah.
So she was bigger than me.
Yes.
Even now. And it's like she was like the hottest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Every woman wanted to be Marilyn Monroe. But the criteria changed, and suddenly Marilyn Monroe is an obese person. So if people basically follow a number that says this is the weight I need to be, they miss out on something very, very important, which is health.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that was interesting, and I think we're so culturally conditioned to think like that, isn't it?
Yes.
Slim, healthy. But it's not the case, and I see it all the time in my patients who come to see me, that you see the slim person and they assume that they're going to be healthy, but
very shocked when they discover their blood.
That's right.
Yes,
and I think that's so I think, you know, you can't look at a person and just guess that they're healthy. And there's a lot more to it, and I think it's important to think about it. It has to be, what did we say, Ronit? It has to be about autonomy. No, what was it? What did we say?
About your sleep, about your energy,
and
about your livelihood, about your ability to think, about your ability to be independent
and connect with people.
Exactly.
And so it's about strength and functionality, isn't it? So that you can be independent.
Exactly.
As long as you...
It's not about the number. It's not about the weight. It's not about being slim, because slim people have problems of being slim. And I want you to know that I wrote a book. This book is called Be Happy, Be Yourself for teenagers. It was short stories for teenagers about really be yourself. That was the topic of it. Anyway, one of the story was a futuristic movie. I call it movie because in my head it's all movies. It was a story about a time in the future where everyone was very, very, very slim, and the goal in life was to be
the opposite.
And I played on this topic of what are the problems that we have problems with being overweight now, like you know, if it's too much weight that it crosses the healthy weight. That's the overweight. It's not the number, it's the moment where it starts affecting your health. That's overweight.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wrote a story, and I just did opposite of everything, and the idea came to me by thinking about, I mean, that was my dream. I wrote this book many years ago, this story, and the dream was like, give me a pill that will make me slim. And And in this story was a guy, an inventor, and he invented that pill
that made everybody slim.
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone from his family is basically she died from it.
Right. Yes.
It's because when we're too slim, or when we're slim, and the definition of overweight or too slim is a health
consequence.
Yes. So she died, and anyway, she died, and so on, and everyone wanted to be slim, and so the story was about this girl that she couldn't eat what everyone else is eating, because everything they were eating was processed to the max, because it included Bourget's magic powder. He invented this powder that you add it into the food, and it makes you slimmer.
Yes.
So this story is called Bourget magic powder, and she couldn't eat Bourget's magic powder because that made her sick. So she was a plump girl, and all the girls were jealous of her. So I wrote a story about this because I was very, very concerned that the desire for a magic pill is actually it's going to be devastating for our health, because there's no magic, there's no right weight, so the right slimness, the right weight, the right slimness is when it doesn't cross your health.
It's all about health. Yes.
So,
and all right. Well, hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll speak to you soon.
Next time. Bye bye.